I remember I went into Harvey Goldsmith, the promoter, with our manager, Jim Beach, and he looked up and we said, we want Wembley Stadium. And he said, who's going to sing? And so we said, well, got this list. And he just looked at me and said, you're mad. And I thought, well, are we? Maybe we are.
He ruled arenas with a fist in the air and a piano under his fingertips. A showman like no other. Bold, electrifying, unforgettable. His voice didn't just fill stadiums, it pierced hearts. But behind the spotlight, the sequins, and the strut was a soul, both grand and guarded. Few knew the real man behind the legend. The battles he fought in silence. The price of fame he quietly paid. This isn't just about Queen's frontman. It's about the man behind the crown. This is the story of Freddie Mercury. His rise, his reign, and the silence that followed. Early life born Farrokh Bulsara on September 5th, 1946 in the British Protectorate of Zanzibar, Freddie Mercury's story began at the crossroads of culture and change. Raised in a Parsi family, his early life flowed between Zanzibar and India, where he was sent to St. Peter's School in Panchgani. There, something magical happened. The quiet, observant boy came alive at the piano. Music wasn't just a subject, it was his language. Teachers noticed, friends gathered, he formed his first band, the Hectics, and began mimicking the rock and roll swagger he'd one day make his own.
We selected for him as Farrokh. That was his birth name. That was the name at that time, very fashionable in the Parsis, and I just wanted to name him that.
But everything changed when political violence in Zanzibar forced the Bulsara family to flee to England. It was a painful uprooting, but one that would lead Freddie to the land where his destiny began to sing louder than ever before. Formation of Queen. In 1970, a young Farrokh Bulsara, now calling himself Freddie, was introduced to guitarist Brian May and drummer Roger Taylor, members of a struggling band called Smile. Their music had promise, but their direction lacked fire. Freddie saw more than just potential. He saw what it could become. When Smile's lead singer stepped away, Freddie stepped in, and in that moment, everything began to change. He suggested a new name for the band, Queen. It was bold, regal, and deliberately provocative. Some thought it was too flamboyant, even scandalous. Freddie didn't care. He knew exactly what he was doing. Queen wasn't just a name, it was a statement. It captured everything he was: theatrical, powerful, and defiantly unashamed. With the arrival of bassist John Deacon in 1971, the final piece fell into place.
We do a lot, we fight a lot, but in the end, you know, what really is the key feature is that we must come up with some product.
But Queen wasn't just another rock band. They were something entirely different. Each member brought a unique flavor. Brian's astrophysics mind and soaring guitar solos, Roger's thunderous drumming, John's steady rhythm and silent strength, and Freddie's operatic vocals and magnetic presence. Together, they created a fusion of genres: hard rock, glam, funk, opera, and even vaudeville. Freddie, ever the artist, designed Queen's iconic crest, blending the zodiac signs of the members: 2 Leos, 1 Cancer, and 1 Virgo. It was part coat of arms, part myth, part magic. On stage, Queen didn't just perform, they detonated. Lights, costumes, power ballads, and Freddie with half a mic stand turned into a lightning rod of charisma. He didn't just sing, he commanded, seduced, and soared. The boy from Zanzibar was gone. In his place stood rock royalty, a legend in motion, rewriting what it meant to be a frontman. Musical highlights. When Bohemian Rhapsody hit the airwaves in 1975, it was unlike anything the world had ever heard. A 6-minute epic with no chorus, operatic harmonies, hard rock breakdowns, and a haunting piano intro. It defied every rule of radio. Critics were baffled. Audiences were mesmerized. It became a global sensation and a timeless classic. But that was just the beginning. With thunderous anthems like We Will Rock You, the euphoric rush of Don't Stop Me Now, and the gospel-tinged power of Somebody to Love, Queen wasn't just topping charts, they were creating a soundtrack for the bold, the broken, and the beautifully defiant. Their music didn't just play, it echoed in arenas and in souls. Live Aid performance, July 13th, 1985. The world was watching. Wembley Stadium throbbed with energy. The occasion, Live Aid, a global concert to raise funds for famine relief in Ethiopia. Dozens of acts had taken the stage, but Queen had just 20 minutes to leave a mark. One stage, one voice, one chance to move millions. What followed wasn't just a performance, it was history in the making.
They're planning a big musical event dedicated to their lead singer, Freddie Mercury, who died last night of AIDS. There have been tributes to his talent and his courage from friends and from fans. The Health Minister, Mrs. Virginia Bottomley, predicted his death would have a big impact in preventing the spread of AIDS.
Subscribe and watch this video